where I'm going to do a movie collection video for 2020, which has the most popular amount of VHS tapes. We're going to do my Warner Bros. VHS collection 2020 edition, and which is requested by Christopher Spielberg. We're going to do part 1 first, of which I'm going to show you the cheesy Shield titles. I've got 11 clamshells and 39 slipcovers to show you all. We're going to go ahead and get it started. First tape I have is the 1996 VHS of the Amazing Panda Adventure. In the sweeping highlands of China, a boy begins a magical journey to save the life of a natural wonder. I first showed you this VHS in my VHS collection video back when I started my YouTube account. The best family movie of the season is Phil Hoffman, New York Post. Lively Family Entertainment says Los Angeles Times. Rated PG and it's 85 minutes. And here's what it looks like for the Amazing Panda Adventure. And it was put on December 29th, 1995. Even though it's a 1996 VHS. Next tape I have is the 1994 VHS of Black Beauty. 4 stars, the most imaginative and stirring picture since The Black Stallion, says Gary Arnold, Washington Times. I got this VHS, I think, from Goodwill. Yeah, from Goodwill. Rapturously pretty and filled with passion, just Jen Maslin, the New York Times. Starring Caroline Thompson from The Secret Garden, Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey. And Sean Bean from The Patriot Games, and Joe Green from... No, wait. And Andrew Knott from The Secret Garden, and David Thurles from Naked. A radiant, heartfelt delight is Bill Dale, ABC Radio Network. And it's based on a novel by Anna Sewell. Rated G, and it's 88 minutes. Here's what it looks like for Black Beauty from September 26, 1994. Whoop! And now for the next tape I have, which is the 1995 VHS of Want to Be Wild with Will Horneth. When your best friend is a 400-pound gorilla, where do you go to set her free? Anywhere she likes. I got this VHS from Faith Farm. The best animal adventure since Free Willy, says Joanna Levenglick, the Kids News Network. Also co-starring Peter Boyle. It touches your heart as well as your funny bonuses. Lydia Marcus and the Factory Entertainment New York Network. Rated PG, and it's 99 minutes. And here's what the tape looks like for Born to Be Wild with a sticker label. And it's put on June 2nd, 1995. Next tape I have is the 1993 VHS of Free Willy. The most rousing family adventure since E.T.'s Bob Campbell Newhouse News Service. A 12-year-old street kid, a 3-ton orca whale, a friendship you could never imagine, an adventure you'll never forget. I got this VHS from Goodwill. If you're magic, you will cherish the stroll cycle going America ABC TV. With some backup from a full-size animatronic whale. Rated PG, and it's 112 minutes. And here's what the tape looks like for Free Willy. And it was printed on May 9th, 1995, even though it's a 1993 VHS. Next tape I have is a 1995 VHS of Free Willy 2, The Adventure Home. Smarter and more endearing than the original. The ideal family movie, says Karen James, The New York Times. I got this VHS from Goodwill as well. A wonderful, actually from Faith Farm. I got this VHS from Faith Farm along with Free Willy. Both Free Willy and Free Willy 2 are what I got from Faith Farm. I have Free Willy 3. What's this Free Willy 3 titled? I gotta look it up on my VHS collection, on my list of VHS tapes I have. I also have Free Willy 3 to Rescue, but it was from my Boring Shield tapes collection. A wonderful action-packed adventure, says Neil Roslin and my One News, WLAG-TV. Also starring Jason James Richter. Rated PG, and it's 98 minutes. Here's what it looks like for Free Willy 2, The Adventure Home, and it's put on October 26, 1995. Next tape I have is a 1994 VHS of The Incredible Mr. Limpet. The wackiest mix-up this side of the ocean. I first showed you this VHS in my VHS collection when I started my YouTube account. In the class of the best of Disney, says Miami Herald. Starring 5-time Emmy Award John Knotts, Carol Cook, and Jack Weston. Not rated, it's 99 minutes. And here's what the tape looks like for The Incredible Mr. Limpet. It was put on February 7th, 1995, even though it's a 1994 VHS. Next tape I have is the 1995 VHS of Little Giants with Rick Moranis from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids franchise, and Ed O'Neill, who is the famous actor for playing Al Bundy on Married with Children, and now he plays Jay Pritchard on Modern Family. I don't watch Modern Family, my brother does. For everyone who is waited to be chosen and wasn't, your day has come. I got this VHS from Faith Farm. A real winner for the entire family is Mike Cacciopoli, ABC Radio. A stand-up and sure family comedy, says Susan Granger, CNN American Movie Classics. Rated PG, and it's 106 minutes. And here's what tape looks like for Little Giants. And it's put on December 31st, 1994, even though it's a 1995 VHS. Next tape I have is a 1995 VHS of The Little Princess. This movie is magic, stunningly beautiful, says Joel Siegel, Morning America, ABC TV. Got this VHS off of eBay. The best review movie of the year. 2 thumbs up, way up for this wonderful children's film that is also great for parents to see, says Siskel and Ebert. Every girl everywhere is a princess. It's based on a novel by Frances Hodgson Burnett. Rated G, and it's 97 minutes. And here's what it looks like for a little princess. and it was put on July 31st, 1995. Whoop, there you go. Next tape I have is a 1994 VHS of the NeverEnding Story. Brilliant, the most fascinating family film since E.T., says Michael Blowen, the Boston Globe. I got this VHS from Faith Farm. A classic like nothing you've seen since The Wizard of Oz, WNBC Radio New York. With credits including 2001: A Space Odyssey, Alien and the Empire Strikes Back. Rated PG, and it's 94 minutes. And here's what the tape looks like for the NeverEnding Story. And it was put on August 16th, 1997, even though it's a 1994 VHS. So the print date to this tape is like 3 years delayed. Next tape I have is a 1995 VHS of Richie Rich with Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone. An adventure so big even the world's richest kid can't afford to miss it. One of Macaulay Culkin's richest performances as Gary Garner, American Radio Network. A comedy adventure with lots of hearts, Los Angeles Times. Based on the characters appearing in Harvey Comics. Rated PG, and it's 95 minutes. And here's what the tape looks like for Richie Rich. And it's put on March 27th, 1995. I might have got this VHS, like, I think from Faith Farm. Either Faith Farm or off of eBay. It's been a while since I watched this debut of this VHS on the YouTube channel. Next tape I have is the 1994 VHS of Superman the Movie. Dynamic, grandly entertaining saga of the Man of Steel. Great fun. This is Larry Mutland's movie and video guide. Got this VHS off of eBay. 4 stars, of pure delight. Terrific entertainment, says Roger Ebert's video companion. Directed by Richard Donner from Lethal Weapon to Goonies. Starring Marlon Brando, Gene Hackman, Morgan Kidder, and Glenn Ford. And it's based on the DC Comics. Rated PG, it's 143 minutes. And here's what the tape looks like for Superman the Movie. And it's put on August 24th, 1995. Even though it's a 1994 VHS. This superhero movie was rated PG besides rated PG-13 because PG-13 rated movies were not made yet until the late 1980s. Yeah, because there hasn't been a PG-13 rated until the 1980s. Anyway, moving on. Next tape I have is a 1974 VHS of Ace Ventura, Pet Detective with Jim Carrey. He's the best there is. Actually, he is the only one there is. There's an additional footage not seen theatrically. Got this VHS from Faith Farm. Sorry, I sneezed. 4 stars. The State Stone Ottawa Citizen. Hilarious is Nora Fraser, The Home Show. Aurea from start to finish is Rhea Can't Believe the Washington Post. A perfect comment is Joel Spramer, WK Radio. starring Jim Carrey from In Living Color. Rated PG-13. It's 87 minutes, and here's what it looks like for Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, and was put on May 14th, 1994. Next tape I have is the 1985 VHS of Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls, with Jim Carrey. New animals, new adventures, same hair. Got this VHS from Bay Farm as well. Jim Carrey's Best Yet is Ken Tucker Entertainment Weekly, starring Jim Carrey from Batman Forever. And it's rated PG-13 for crude humor. It's 94 minutes. And here's what it looks like for Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, and it was put on January 28th, 1996, even though it's a 1995 VHS. Next tape I have is a 1986 VHS. Yep, 1986 VHS of After Hours. A terrific movie. You'll laugh playing up at this frantic funny films. It's Gene Schlitt and Today NBC TV. Got this VHS from Goodwill. After Taxi Driver, Raging Bulls, Scorsese says New York gets funny after hours. I never read anything so original or intriguing as After Hours is Scorsese, who was awarded Best Director honors at the 1986 Cannes Film Festival. I was fascinated by what was happening as the story unfolds. It is like a Chinese puzzle. Rated R, and it's 97 minutes. And here's what the tape looks like for After Hours. And here's what the tape looks like for After Hours. You've got the end label. Next tape I have is the 1990 VHS of Altered States. In the basement of a medical school, Dr. Jessup floats naked into total darkness. The most terrifying experiment in the history of science is out of control, and the subject is himself. From the novel, based on a novel by Chayefsky. Got this VHS off of eBay. Unlock doorways of your mind if you dare. And it's rated R, and it's 103 minutes. So here's what the tape looks like for Altered States. And it's put on September 9th, 1998, even though it's a 1990 VHS. So it's for like 8 years delayed. Next tape I have is the 1989 VHS of Batman. Got this VHS on eBay. The movie of the decade says Eric Preminger, KGO TV, San Francisco. Excuse me, I burped. 4 stars to Tucker Entertainment says Jack Gardner and Get a New Service. A travel you can't take your eyes off of it, says Peter Charles Rolling Stone. starring Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton. And it's based on DC Comics created by Bob Kane. Rated PG-13, that's 126 minutes. So here's what that tape looks like for Batman. And it's no printing, but it's got a week and year code. The 22nd week of 1989. Yep. Just making sure if I showed you the print date the right way. Just making sure if I showed you the tape the right way. And now for the next tape I have, which is the 1992 VHS of Batman Returns with Michael Keaton, Danny DeVito, and Michelle Pfeiffer. And it's based on the characters created by Bob Kane from DC Comics. Got this VHS off of eBay. Sensational. A fun house of comic and crazy surprises is packed on WWR TV. Exclusively on Tastes Peter Charles Rolling Stone. Rated PG-13 and it's 126 minutes. So here's what the tape looks like for Batman Returns. And it was printed on. It's got two print dates: September 13th, 1992, and September 15th, 1992. Next tape I have is the 1995. 1995 VHS of Batman Forever with Val Kilmer, Tommy Lee Jones, and Jim Carrey. And also co-starring Nicole Kidman and Chris O'Donnell. I got this VHS from, I think, from Faith Farm. The best Batman yet is back on WWR TV. Starring, I think that's all it is. It's also directed by Joel Schumacher from The Clients. And it's based upon the Batman characters created by Bob Kane from DC Comics. And it's rated PG-13 for strong stylized action. And it's 122 minutes. So here's what the tape looks like for Batman Forever. And it was put on August 20th, 1995. Next tape I have is the 1991 VHS of Blazing Saddles. Never Give Us Saga an Even Break. Got this VHS off from Faith Farm. Mel Brooks comic saga of cowboys and imbeciles. I don't know how to pronounce that, so. And it's rated R, and it's 93 minutes. So here's what it looks like for Blazing Saddles. And was put on. It's got 2 week in year code. No. It's got 2 print dates. January 14th, 1993 and January 21st, 1993. So it's got 2 print dates. Next tape I have is a 1991 VHS of Calamity Jane with Doris Day and Howard Akeel. Got this VHS. Yeah, I've already got this VHS. From Goodwill. How the West Was Sung. Also co-starring Alan McLeary. And it's not rated, and it's 101 minutes. So here's what it looks like a Comedy Jade. And it's from March 20th, 1994. Even though it's a 1991 VHS. It only has one print date. Next tape I have is a 1984 VHS of The Clients, with Susan Sarandon and Tommy Lee Jones, a district attorney out for a conviction, a new lawyer out of her league, a young boy who knew too much. For the best-selling author of The Firm and the Pelican Brief. There's something in this VHS tape, and it's very hard to get it out. If it's get it out, then it'll break. So I remember leave this. So it's asked me to leave this in. At Powerhouse, commands breathless attention from start to finish. So Susan Granger, Ciara, and American movie classics, and based on a novel by John Grisham. Starts like a house of fire and keeps on blazing, says the Chicago Tribune. Rated PG-13 for child in jeopardy and brief language. It's 121 minutes. So here's what the tape looks like for The Clients. It was put on August 26, 1995, even though it's a 1994 VHS. Next tape I have is a 1989 VHS of Dangerous Liaisons, with Glenn Close, John Malkovich, and Michelle Pfeiffer. It's adapted from the novel Leslie Elson's Dangerousness by Chodolos de la Close. I've got this VHS from Fate Farm. Well, Seduction Revenge, a game as you've never seen it played before. Rated R, and it's 120 minutes. And here's what it looks like for Dangerous Liaisons. On November 8th, 1995. Even though it's a 1989 VHS. Next tape I have is the 1994 VHS of The Desert Song, with Katherine Grayson and Gordon McRae, the best of all musical adventures. I got this VHS from Goodwill. A much cherished musical saga of Arabian Days and Nights, starring Katherine Grayson from Kiss Me Kate, and Gordon McRae from Oklahoma. The latter include Romance and Riff Song, and also One Alone, based upon a play by Lawrence Schwab. Not rated, and it's 111 minutes. So here's what it looks like for The Desert Song. It was from November 17th, 2000, even though it's a 1994 VHS. Next tape I have is the 1988 VHS of The Empire Sun, based on a novel by J.K. Ballard. I got this VHS when my dad selling some VHS, giving away VHS tapes to me in case I need them. A towering achievement, absolutely superb. It's Jeffrey Lyons sneak previews WCBS Radio. And it's from the director of The Color Purple. Rated PG, and it's 154 minutes. And here's what the tape looks like for The Empire of the Sun. You've got the end label to it. Next tape I have is a 1992 VHS of Final Analysis with Richard Gere and Kim Basinger. Someone was seduced, someone was set up, and before it was all over, someone was dead. I got this VHS from Goodwill. Compelling, seductive, diabolically clever, and season-breaker American movie classics. And it's directed by Leslie Strick from Cape Fear and Arachnophobia, and directed by written by Leslie Strick from Cape Fear and Arachnophobia, and directed by Phil Geno from State of Grace. Rated R, and it's 125 minutes, so here's what it looks like for our final analysis. For August 23rd, 1996. Even though it's a 1992 VHS. Next tape I have is a 1991 VHS of The Frisco Kid with Gene Wilder and Harrison Ford. The greatest cowboy ever to ride in the Wild West, from Poland. Got this VHS from Goodwill. This caution cowboy hasn't got a prayer, but plenty of laughs. It's directed by Mel Brooks from the producers and Young Frankenstein. And also Stir Crazy, The Woman in Red, and See No Evil, Hear No Evil. Actually, Mel Brooks is the director of it. He's also the star of it, I think. And Robert Aldrich is also from the Dirty Dozen, The Longest Yard, and Terrence Marsh from Lawrence of Arabia, and Dr. Zvivago. Rated PG, it's 119 minutes. So here's what the tape looks like with the Frisco Kid. And you got the Blockbuster video label. Next tape I have it's a 1994 VHS of Grumpy Old Men with Jack Lemmon, Walter Mahal, and Margaret. The best of enemies until something came between them. A 50-year fight. I got the VHS from Faith Farm. Lemon and Mel are the funniest odd couple in films since James Fournier, Boston Herald. Will cure your blouse and jumpstart your hearts. This Rexford, New York Observer. Rated PG-13 for some sexual references, and it's 104 minutes. So here's what the tape looks like for Grumpy Old Men, and it's from February 2nd, 1996. Even though it's a 1994 VHS. So it's like 2 years delayed. Next tape I have is a 1992 VHS, The Gumball Rally. Got this VHS from Goodwill. It's hilarious, coast to coast, 180 mile an hour, go for broke, outrageous road race. It's directed by Chuck Bale of many classic movie stunt sequences. Gary Busey from Lethal Weapon, and Raul Julia from the Addams Family, and Michael Sarrazin from They Shoot Horses Don't They. Rated PG, and it's 107 minutes. And here's what the tape looks like for the Gumball Rally. It's got two print dates, February 15, 2001 and February 20, 2001. Even though it's a 1992 VHS. The next tape I have is a 1991 VHS of Hamlet, with Mel Gibson and Glenn Close, the extraordinary telling of the classic tale. Is adapted from the play by William Shakespeare. Spectacular, considerable personal victory for Mel Gibson as Roger versus Skull and Ebert. Mel Gibson from Mad Max Legal and the new Weapon film series. Franco Zeffirelli from Romeo and Juliet and Jesus of Nazareth. And Glenn Close is from Fatal Attraction, Dangerously Allison's. Rated PG at 135 minutes. And here's what it looks like for Hamlet. From April 5th, it's got 2 print dates. March 30th, 1993 and April 15th, 1993. Even though it's a 1991 VHS, so it's printed like 2 years delayed. Next tape I have is a 1990 VHS of Hard to Kill with Steven Seagal. The star of Above the Law's back. Now Steven Seagal is Hard to Kill. I got this VHS from Bay Farm. Steven Seagal is a hero's hero in this action versus USA Today. And it's co-starring Kelly LeBrock. Rated R, it's 96 minutes. And here's what it looks like for Hard to Kill. It's got... I'm just making sure if I'm showing you the tape the right way. Got 2 print dates. March 6, 1993 and March 10th, 1993. Even though it's a 1990 VHS. Next tape I have is a 1991 VHS of The Hideaways with Ingrid Bergman. Emerges triumphant and delight the young in the heart of ages is Rex Reed. The heart of all ages is Rex Reed. 2 giant kids, a priceless secret, and a mysterious woman who holds the key. Got this VHS. Got this VHS from Goodwill. Lively, engaging, and family film with best scenes of Charles Chaplin in Los Angeles Times. Rated G is 105 minutes. There's a table site for The Hideaways. It's got 2 print dates. March 15th, 1993 and April 2nd, 1993. Even though it's a 1991 VHS. Next tape I have is a 1990 VHS of John Wayne and the Cowboys. Duke and 11 shot in the cell. Cowpokes team up for a tall western action. Rated PG has 128 minutes. And it stars Irving Ravitch and Harriet Frank Jr. from Norma Ray Murphy's Romance, and directed by Mark Ray of The Ravers and One on Golden Pond. And here's what it looks like for the Cowboys. And it's got an end label to it. Next tip I have Next tape I have We got the 1991 VHS of Lethal Weapon with Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. Two cops, Glover carries a weapon, Gibson has one. He's the only LA cop registered as a lethal weapon. I got this tape, I got this VHS from Fate Farm. One of the best, most exciting police action thrillers since the French Connections with Jeffrey Lance, Secret Reviews, AIN. Directed by Richie from Superman, the movie, and the Goonies. Rated R, and it's 110 minutes. Here's what the tape looks like for Lethal Weapon. Prime, February 12th, 1995. Even though it's 1991 VHS. Next tape I have is the 1989 VHS of Lethal Weapon 2 with Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. I've got this VHS from Fate Farm as well. Pure dynamite enough humor, excitement, and action for two movies is Rex Reed at the movies. I thought in this film I could take Riggs in a slightly different direction and maybe have some fun, says Gibson. I hate managers, says Richard Donner, who also got Lethal Weapon, and also co-starred Joe Pesci from Raging Bull Easy Money, with Mel and Danny Joel as the third dude, says Donner. And it's rated R, and it's 114 minutes, so here's what the tape looks like for Lethal Weapon 2, and it's on December 8th, 1989. December 8th, 1989. Next tape I have is the 1992 VHS of Lethal Weapon 3 with Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, and Joe Pesci. Got this one from got this tape from Fate Farm as well. The best weapon, yes, is Pat Collins of WRTV. The action is dynamite, is Joel Siegel of Warren America, ABC TV. Anything you need, says Leo Jets. Rated R, and it's 118 minutes. So here's what it looks like for Lethal Weapon 3. Printed on November 28th, 1997. Even though it's a 1992 VHS. I still have Lethal Weapon 4, but it's my Boy and Shield tape collection. And I don't know if I said I have Batman and Robin on my Boy and Shield collection while I was showing all my 3 Boy and Shield Batman tapes. I still have Batman and Robin on VHS. It's for my Boy and Shield collection tapes. Anyway, moving on. Next tape I have we've got the 1994 VHS of Maverick with Mel Gibson, Jodie Foster, and James Gardner. Fast, funny, it's Lethal Weapon meets Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. Aaron James, the New York Post. Got this VHS from Goodwill. Hilarious, the 10-gallon hits is Pat Concept due to RTV. The original Brett Maverick from the Emmy-winning TV series. Based on Maverick, created by Roy Huggins. Based on Maverick, created by Roy Huggins. Rated R, rated PG for mild sensuality language and some Western action. It's 127 minutes. So here's what it looks like for Maverick. It was from March 17th, 1995. Even though it's 1994 VHS. Next tape I have is a 1991 VHS of Memphis Belle. An action-packed and thrilling. It will make you cheers as Rex Reed. I got this VHS from Goodwill. Heart-stopping, unforgettable, one of the year's best. Michael Memphis sneak previews. Rated PG-13, that's 107 minutes. Here's the payment site for Memphis, Belle, and was printed on January 17th, 1997. Next tape I have. So 1988 VHS of Moving with Richard Pryor. The video cassette has packed lots of laughs. Richard Pryor is just about the funniest man alive. Anyone who has ever made a long-distance move will identify and laugh as Gary Franklin, KABC TV, Los Angeles. Got this VHS for Christmas. Pryor presides over Moving with consequentiality. He does a lot to make it fun. He's Jay Mouse of the New York Times. Star Richard Pryor from Stir Crazy, Brewster's Millions, Alan Meter from Girls Just Want to Have Fun, Back to School. And New York Post says a house full of laughs. Radar, it's 89 minutes, so here's what a tape looks like for Moving and label. Next tape I have is the 1990 VHS of My Blue Heaven, where Steve Martin who was a gangster, Richard and Rick Moranis, who was a federal agent. A crazy comedy about an urban hood finding suburban hood. Got this VHS. Got this VHS. I think from Goodwill. Steve Martin as best as Luke Sederholm, Baltimore Sun. Steve Martin is from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and All Me, Roxanne. And Rick Moranis is from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and Ghostbusters. And John Cusack is from Working Girl, and Carol Kane is from Scrooge. And Melanie Ryan is from 30-something, and William Herky is from Percy's Honor, and Herbert Ross from Steel Magnolias. And it's also directed by Nora Ephron from When Harry Met Sally. Rated PG-13, it's 96 minutes. Here's what it looks like for My Blue Heaven, and was printed on November 1st, 2000, even though it's a 1990 VHS. So it's like 10 years delayed, or a decade delayed. Next tape I have is the 1991 VHS of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. You'll crack up. Got this VHS from Goodwill. I laugh myself silly. Christmas Vacation, Jingle My Bells. Says P.L. Lindstrom, WNBC TV, New York. The most fun-filled old-fashioned family Christmas ever, including Randy Quaid as Total Gross Out Cousin Eddie. John Hughes is from Uncle Buck Bear's Wheels Day Off, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Rated PG-13, it's 97 minutes. So here's what it looks like for National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And it's from June 29th, 1993 and August 28th, 1993. So it's got... Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. So it's got two print dates, August 28th, 1993 and August 29th, 1993. So it's got two print dates. I read the print date wrong. I'm sorry, I read the top print date wrong. So it's okay. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to me anymore. Next tape I have. Next tape I have the 1991 VHS of Next of Kin with Patrick Swayze. Patrick Swayze means country style justice to the Windy City. Raw Deal and Hamburger. I'm sorry, John Anderson, Raw Deal and Hamburger Hill. Adam Baldwin's from Full Metal Jacket and My Bodyguard. And Liam Neeson's from Suspect and the Deadpool and The Good Mother. Rated R and 109 minutes. So here's what the tape looks like for Next of Kin. Current on February 28th, 2002. It was 1991 VHS. Next tape I have is a 1993 VHS of 1983 VHS. Is it 1983 VHS of Passenger 57 with Wesley Snipes. Nail-biting adventure sensationals of Susan Granger American movie classics. He's an ex-cop with a bad mouth and a bad attitude. For the terrorists on Flight 163, he's very bad news. Well, he's nice to a New Jack City white man can jump at boiling point. Rated R for turquoise, violence, and language, and 34 minutes. Here's what a tape looks like for Passenger 57. It was from August 15th, 1997. Even though it's a 1993 VHS. Well, sorry. I have National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, pushing a couple clamshells in front of it. And now, next tape I have, which is the 1990 VHS of Richard Simmons' Wedding to the Oldies. Exercise is never so much fun. Got this VHS from Goodwill. And it's not rated 46 minutes. So it's like 15 minutes less than an hour. So here's what the tape looks like for Richard Simmons' Wedding to the Oldies. You got that end label. Next tape I have is a 1986 VHS. 1986 VHS, The Shining, with Jack Nicholson. It's based on a novel by Stephen King. Wait, what year is this released? It doesn't say. I would say like 1990. So this is the 1990 VHS, The Shining, with Jack Nicholson, based on a novel by Stephen King. Stanley Kubrick's epic nightmare of horror. Rated R and 144 minutes. Here's what it looks like for The Shining, and it's got an end label. Next tape I have is a 1993 VHS of Summersby, with Richard Gere and Jodie Foster. She knew his face, his touch, his voice. She knew everything about him but the truth. Based on the film The Return of Barney Gere. The best romance since Gone with the Wind is back on WWR TV. Roger Garris from Pretty Woman, Officer and a Gentleman, and Jodie Foster's from The Silence of the Lambs and the Accused. And it's rated PG-13 for sexuality and 114 minutes. What's the table set for Summersby? Pretty on December 27th, 1993. Next tape I have, we've got the 1992 VHS of Star is Born, with with Barbara Streisand and Christopherson, based on a story by William Willman. Their love was everything, but sometimes everything isn't enough. And it's rated R, and it's 140 minutes. Here's what it looks like for A Star Is Born, and it's put on November 28th, 1993. Even though it's a 1992 VHS. Next tape I have is the 1987 or 1990. I would say at least 1990. 1990, I think, VHS of Superman the 2. The adventure continues. The Man of Steel meets his match. Richard Lectures from the Three Musketeers from the Hard Day's Night. Help. I'm sorry. The Three Musketeers, the Hard Day's Night, and Help. I thought the original Superman was terrific entertainment, says Roger Ebert. And so I was a little sort of to discover I like Superman 2 even more. Rated PG and it's 127 minutes. Here's what it looks like for Superman 2. We got the end label. And now for the next tape I have, which is the 1990 VHS of Superman 3. And all the Superman movies are based on the DC comics. Superman vs. the King of Computerized Crime, starring Richard Pryor and O'Toole. Rated PG and it's 125 minutes. I also have Superman 4. Wait, what's the... Guys, Superman 4 also has the fourth sequel title. Because let me look. Let me Google it. No, I don't have to Google it because I'm working up on Word. Superman 4, The Quest for Peace is what I also have on VHS. But it's from my Boring Shield VHS collection. Not my my Boring Shield tapes. So here's what it looks like. So for Superman 3, you got the end label. Next tape I have is the 1991 VHS of Tango and Cash with Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell. I got this VHS from Goodwill. Gangbusters for anyone who's like buddy cop movies and space is Cowboy Cup things. Detroit Pre-Press. Mr. Fango thinks things out. Stallone here words speak out as loud as action. Kurt Russell is from Big Trouble in Little China and Two Kids of Sunrise, and also from Jack Palance is from Batman, and it's rated R, 104 minutes. So here's what it looks like for its Tango and Cash. And it's put on June 1st, 1991. Even though it's June 1st, 1991. Next tape I have we've got the 1993 VHS of Under Siege with Steven Seagal. Got this VHS off of eBay. Die Hard on the Battleship, a high-tech thriller with blasts and thrills since Michael Williams' Los Angeles Times. I'm just a cook. And starring Tommy Lee Jones from JFK and Gary Busey from Lethal Weapon. Rated R for strong violence and language and bravery. And it's 103 minutes, so here's what it looks like for Under Siege. from June 9th, 1995, even though it's the 1993 VHS. Well guys, it's already been till 9:20 p.m. since I took a break from doing this video because the maximum of videotaping this with a webcam is at least 1 hour. Anyway, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. If you like the video, please be sure to share, subscribe, comment, and click the post notification bell. So stay tuned for part 2, in which I'm going to show you the Kids WB Looney Tunes and Cartoon Network titles. This video is now adjourned.